no dream left behind, God. Leave no opportunity left behind. When you leave this earth, accomplish every single thing you can accomplish. Listen to me, you're going to be here one day, but you'll never get here if you give up, if you give in, if you quit. And finally, guys, you got to want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe.
I'm ready. If you ready, say I'm ready. I'm ready. Have a seat. All right. Yes. Question for you. How many of you feel even just a little bit better than you did, let's say, 10 minutes ago? Just a little bit. How many of you maybe believe just a little bit bigger than you did just 10 minutes ago? Yes?
Yes.
How many of you think maybe you're positioned just a little bit to achieve more than you were positioned to achieve more just a few minutes ago? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
How's that possible? Your situation didn't change.
That's right. That's right.
You're sitting right there. Your situation did not change. Now, because of what I was not able to accomplish from the technical side, I wanted to show you some images of some of the amazing diamonds and some of the stories and maybe a few pictures of dream building that I've shared with you before. But I want you to imagine that I had some pictures up there that would have made it even stronger. Pictures of Mr. Fulcher holding up his sword, pictures of Mr. Rod Smith with tears in his eyes, pictures of the Nielsen family, pictures of Mr. Ardone and Mr. Moutier and Mr. Bugs. I was going to share those with you. I'll share them with you next time. But just imagine that while you were hearing those words, you're also seeing some images that were making it even more powerful, tying it directly to you.
Absolutely.
So here's what I want to ask you. You felt better than you did a few minutes ago, but your situation didn't change. So let me ask you a question. How many of you know somebody? It may not be you. It may not be you. But how many of you know somebody who, let's just say, is going through some temporary financial challenges? You know somebody like that. Anybody know somebody like that? Yeah. And for the record, a financial challenge, they're all temporary, by the way. A financial challenge is relative. Maybe it's not being able to pay your next mortgage. That's major, but it's relative. Maybe it's not being able to take your wife to the restaurant you want to take her to, or maybe it's not being able to take her to Australia on cash. Maybe it's not being able to buy your G5. Some of you got that. Ooh, you get that. A temporary, short-term financial challenge, it's all relative. So I'll ask that question again, and I think I'll only ask you maybe 3 or 4 questions for all of today, where I'm going to ask you to raise your hand, because personally I don't really like that game to abuse it. But for these 3 questions, I'm going to ask this to you. How many of you know somebody, maybe it's you, maybe it's not, how many of you know somebody who's going through a temporary financial challenge right now? Raise your hand for me. Keep your hands up and look around the room. Everybody's raising their hand, including the speaker. So, put your hands down, and I want you to understand that it's not just me. It's not just, say that, it's not just me. It's not just me. Everybody's going through some type of short-term financial challenge. How about health? Now, I know everybody here is in perfect health, going to live forever, all that kind of good stuff. How do you know somebody who's going through some type of health challenge right now? Look around the room. Look around. Keep your hands up. Look around the room. Interesting. Put your hands down. You mean it's not just me? I don't feel the way I used to feel, or I have this ache or this pain, or someone I care about is going through some major stuff, or maybe a very close friend recently passed. You mean it's not just me? Say that. It's not just me.
It's not just me.
Interesting. How about, does anybody in this room know of someone? Not you, of course. Every relationship you have is absolutely perfect. But just, does anybody know anybody who has, let's just say, a relationship challenge? Maybe it's the person you care about the most in this world. You already raised your hand. I ain't asked you to raise your hand. Maybe it's somebody who's closest to you. Maybe it's family who you wanted to support you but's not. Or maybe they say to support you, but how come you going to another training? Or why you spend this money? Maybe it's a friend who hasn't supported you, won't even come out and look at the business, say they're going to come and don't show up. Maybe it's somebody in your organization who you know this is the best thing for them and the best thing they might ever have, and they leave, and maybe they even start hating on you, even though you didn't do anything to them. They're just hating on you, posting stuff and saying stuff. How many of you know? Nobody here, of course, but how many of you know somebody who's going through some type of, let's just say, relationship challenge? Raise your hand last time. Raise your hand. Look around the room. Oh, you mean it's not just me? Say that. It's not just me.
It's not just me.
Everybody has been going through something, is going through something, or will go through something. Everybody. I could spend the rest of the day talking about the stories. Not just my story, but the story of Mr. Holton Buggs, who was part of a network marketing company, a legacy company. Number one at the time, number maybe 2 or 3 right now. 7 years, never earned more than $500 in a single month. 7 years, just 3 times, made $500 in a single month. 7 years. Our vice president of sales, the number one documented income earner in the entire world, when he was paying his price.
That's right.
Okay.
When he was paying his price, didn't make more than $500 more than 3 times over a 7-year period of time. When he became part of this business, the industry, you think you have haters? The industry said this man had made the biggest mistake in the history of network marketing.
Yeah.
In the history. Not just his friends, his families, the industry said this. But he did it anyway. Coffee? Really? Sachets? Really? Yeah, go get them. Mr. Bernard Chua borrowed $100,000 from a friend to start this. A friend on a handshake. They didn't write and start this. Mr. Shamoran, you think everybody says yes to Mr. Shamoran? No. Mr. David Mentier, just a few short years ago, whether it was when he started and living with his father on a twin bed, didn't have his own car, couldn't pay $50 in child support, and now he's a multi-millionaire, launching a country as we speak, putting a continent on his shoulders. Story after story, Mr. Jose Ardon, our number one income earner outside of Mr. Buggs. How many years was he with that company? Day after day after day after day after day for years, prospecting every single day and not recruiting a single person. Our Mr. Jose Ardon. So everyone, and while those things, Mr. Ramon Fulcher, our amazing diamond, the first diamond outside of Houston, Texas, no one thought it was possible. Yeah, you can get this done if you have Mr. Buggs right there, and you have all the success and Success Center right there. Yeah, you can do it if you're in Texas or if you're in Houston, but you can't do it in California. And while he was doing all these things, foreclosures, repossessions, all kind of diagnosis and people passing away, going through all that, and he was still smiling, he was still doing all those stories. I'm sharing just a few of the stories to help you understand we are all going through something.
That's right.
It's not just me. Say that one more time. It's not just me.
It's not just me.
So what's the difference between a winner, I'll say it, and a loser? What's the difference between someone who succeeds and someone who fails? The winners use the excuses, actually, the losers use the excuses to fail. They use all those challenges as an excuse to fail. And the winners use those reasons to win. The challenge is the same. The challenge is exactly the same that we're all going through. And for the record, the other person's challenges to them are always bigger and more serious and more important than yours. To them.
Okay.
Okay? Say it again. You're going through a challenge. I'm going through a challenge. They're going through a challenge. Whatever that challenge is, to them, their challenge is bigger and more important and more serious. Man, that's a lie. He just don't understand. He don't understand what I'm going through. Telling me to come to a meeting, telling me to order my product, telling me to do personal development. He just doesn't understand. He has no idea what I'm going through.
Yeah.
What that person doesn't understand is what he's going through and he's not going to tell you. until he gets to the stage.
Okay.
Okay? So you have a choice because you're full of something. Y'all full of something. For the record, I'm recording this. First time ever. I thought of this on the way about an hour ago. So when this gets repeated all over the place, I thought of this. Y'all full of something. You're full of excuses or you're full of reasons. You decide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So, for the record, you felt better than you did a few minutes ago. Why? Because I shared with you some words, wanted to share with you some images, which created some emotions.
Okay.
Positive. Words, images, and emotions. Words, images, emotions. Words, images, and emotions. And through that experience, you felt better. Even though your situation didn't change. Mm-hmm. How many times do people have to be told the exact same thing by countless reputable, credible people all over the company, all over the world, across the span of time, the exact same thing? Feel good now. And feel better all the time. Feel good. Be happy and grateful all the time. Be happy and grateful all the time. Be happy and grateful all the time. All the time. How many times do you have to be told that? By Mr. Chua, by Mr. Moran, by Mr. Bugs, by Mr. Etier, by Mr. Ardone. Feel good all the time. You've heard it all the time, right? Thoughts are things. Words are powerful. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe he can achieve. All things are possible, right? As a man thinks in the heart, so is he. We become what we think about. Son, daughter, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Yes,
How many times do you have to hear the exact same thing across your entire life and through research across history for you to get it? Feel good. How you feeling, Mr. Richardson? I'm amazing. Why? Because I decided to be amazing. Because I don't dare live in my present or my past. I live in my future. With my words, with my images, with my emotions all the time, all the time, all the time. If you take just one thing away from your experience, from your organical journey, it's this: feel good. And I'm not saying this right now to make you feel bad, because if you're not feeling good as a result of what I'm saying, you're really missing it. Feel good now.
Yes.
Can you do that for me? Can you smile? This is called, I know. Just, give me a smile. See? Don't you feel better when you smile?
Yes.
Why? Your situation didn't change. Isn't it amazing? You are in complete control of how you feel. All the time. And when you get that, your life gets so much better immediately. Immediately. You're in complete control, because if you give control to something or somebody else on how you feel, no matter who or what it is, maybe it's the weather, maybe it's something your significant other says, maybe it's your business, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this doctor's report, maybe it's this, whatever it is. If you give control to somebody or something else, good luck. Because there's a lot of negativity out there, right?
Yep.
And we only have you for a couple hours, 2-3 hours any given week when you come to Saturday training. But you have to be doing it all the time. What's he doing? Have you noticed that the leaders have something in their ear all the time? It doesn't mean it's playing all the time. I'll be a secret. And I'll say it even though my wife's going to see this. If you put it in your ear all the time, even when it's not playing, and they say something, why aren't you paying attention to me? Oh, no, it's not on. I'm just waiting for a call. When I'm good. If you have it in there all the time, they don't get distracted by you having it. They don't know if it's on or not. And since you can hear with your other ear, you can pay attention to them. But you can always have positivity coming into your world all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Most of you don't have the privilege of having witnessed our leaders in the beginning of Organo Global. The core leads and some of the other leaders knew Mr. Bugs and Mr. Haynes even before this business. But I saw them at the very beginning. At the very beginning, every single diamond, all the time, unless they were on stage, had something in their ear. All of the time. All the time. Can we go through this? All the time. Now they don't do that anymore. Why? Because they're trained so much, they don't have to have it in there.
Okay.
Even though they still do most of the time. So what happens is you observe somebody how they are now, and you think that's how you should be now, but you didn't see how they were in the beginning.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Here's the biggest challenge that Lucy E has. She's getting better.
That's right.
And she's really good up here.
Yeah.
Confident, like smooth, right? That's a good thing, but it's a challenge. Because in the very beginning, she was a mess. I mean, she was literally shaking. It was just, we just smiled, and people said, wow, if she can do it, I can do it, right? That's a good thing. Mr. Cosmos McGinn, the carpet cleaner, went basically diamond, emerald not showing the plan even once.
Wow.
Used the system, just like Mrs. Guidetta, same thing, even when she was on the stage as a diamond, 107-day diamond. Even in her words, she was horrible. We loved it. We loved throwing up people who can't speak, who are nervous, but all they had was some desire, some belief, some discipline, right? Some hard work ethic. She's getting so good. Now someone who sees her now, especially for the first time, or who forgets what she was in the very beginning, I wish I was like Miss Lee. Just born to speak. Just always confident. I wish, man, I could never do that. That's what some people are seeing when they see her right now.
That's right.
And it's a challenge when you see, you don't think I'm shy, you don't think I was the guy who never had friends. You don't know any of that stuff, you just see whatever you think you see. So if you remember one thing from today or forever, can you feel good all the time? Can you do that for me no matter what's going on? Because everybody's going through something. Right?
Yes.
And the people who have won have chosen to win. They chose to take those challenges and use those as reasons to win as opposed to excuses to fail. Because here's the thing. Here's how success views you. Not me. Not the people who love you. Here's how success views excuses. They're all equal. Success is an equal opportunity receiver of excuses. I couldn't go to Atlanta Super Saturday because I couldn't find a ride to the airport.
What?
That's as ridiculous to success as I didn't have any money,
Right.
or I couldn't get off work,
Okay.
or I don't have a team, or to success, all excuses are equal.
Okay.
Pick one. And we, as much as we can, as your mentors and leaders and sponsors, we will, as much as we can, because we don't want to really help you continue that process, but they're all the same. That's why, don't give excuses. Couldn't come. Okay. See you next time. Couldn't come to training. Oh, I said I was going to be there. Something came up. All right. Whatever excuse they give at the end of the text that I'm going to receive later on today, it doesn't matter. Okay. It's not that they don't care. It's that they're all equal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So that's the most important part of what I'm going to share. So if you got it, say I got it.
I got it.
All right. So you can stop that right now. Thank you so much. All right.